Hello, hello, hello. Good afternoon. Welcome back to the Rabell Realty Group podcast. Thank you for joining us again today on this gorgeous March Monday afternoon at 2 p.m. I'm Kristen and Rebecca.
And I'm Rebecca Johnson. So thank you so much for joining us. That great house that you just saw is a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom pool home that will be hitting the market this afternoon.
Exciting.
In Buckingham South.
We love having new listings, you know, with the low listing inventory.
Yep, you saw it here first.
So let's get into that Monday market moment. How about that?
All right, so let's take a look at what's happening in Alachua County in our local market at the home base of Rabell Realty Group.
Gainesville, Florida.
That's right. So in the first 15 days of March, we've had 109 listings that have come on that are still active, 252 pending sales, and 157 closed transactions. So this is Alachua County.
It's like the same thing over and over and over.
Every month we're on here
the
going.
The least are the active, the most are the pended, and closed sales is always above the active but below the pended. So
it is.
I mean, at least I guess you could say that's not bad.
No, we're hungry for listings out there. This is getting into our traditional sales season.
The spring season.
Hello, Jose.
Hey, Jose. Thanks for coming on.
So, yeah, we're getting into those numbers. This is Alachua County. These are only attached. These are only residential. So these are not including commercial and other types of properties.
Or land or anything like that, right?
Right. So, as you can see, we still have a need for listings. People are getting under contract. They are closing. And we're seeing that really pick up.
The market is typically, at least past couple years, 90 to 120 days. Then it went down to 60 to 90. And there are certain neighborhoods where it's, a week or two because of this low inventory. So, that's exciting for sellers. But of course, it begs the question, where do we go now? And a lot of buyers are competing with each other. So, we've talked about this. Are we talking about the other numbers before we get into it?
Yep. We've got.
We don't have the slide for it still.
We're working on that. We're getting there. This is only our second time trying. So we'll have it.
But we work these other markets.
That's right.
So
your Tampa Bay area, you had 427 listings so far for the month of March. 1,051 are pending. And 730 have already closed. Now, to be fair, Gainesville,
much
our
larger area,
our home base, you've got a lot less realtors out there. In Tampa Bay, you've got about 10,000, a little higher than that.
1,400 here.
Yeah,
right? It always is right around that in a really high market.
So you've got a lot more realtors. It's a much larger geographical. Here's my coffee. I will finish drinking that.
We're just trying to learn the English language when we're on here.
Yes. And then in our other very special location, the St. Augustine area, we have 97 active listings for the month of March.
Oh gosh, even less. Now it's a smaller place, right?
Much smaller area. And then 35 closed sales. Now they're very seasonal over there, so this is not, super concerning. But if you've got properties in any of these 3 markets, these are the 3 largest markets that we serve, and we are here for you. Just pick up the phone and call us. Oh, wait, I need to be more like the generation today. Pick up the phone and call us.
Pick up your cell. Give us a ring.
I'm old school. I'm going this way. Give us a ring, and we will come out and do a
use
free.
Those phones in a while.
Yeah, a free consultation on your home to give you pricing and marketing. So, what else is going on?
I don't know. I mean, it's good to keep up with the local market always. Obviously, that's Gainesville for us, but we're in Tampa, we're in St. Augustine. It's great to know the Florida market, but even the national. So, what we're reading and seeing is that in some of these other areas, Texas. Is one of them in particular, and they're getting offers $60,000 above list price. And what's happening is that they're getting between 10 and 20, maybe 30 offers, 60 and above. So even if you're $60,000 above list price, you're not winning. So we don't see that here yet. We've had a few where it's 25,000 over. That's pretty high, and it's 3 and 4 of them. I mean, not all of them are like that, but they're going so far over, and then they're either sometimes they're not appraising, but for the most part they're appraising or they're waiving the appraisals. So, this just really keeps telling you this inventory truly is low. And although the rates ticked up a little bit and we saw a little bit of a drop in buyer activity, I think they were just everyone was trying to sort of take a breath and see what was going on. Maybe that knocked a couple of buyers out, but not really. It just knocked them down a little bit more, down. They couldn't go quite as high, but it's still in the threes. So it's not a huge, raise in the rates, and it's still affordable. But really seeing that from these larger cities outside of Florida and these other areas, we are going to experience this, continual. And then we are in our spring season, which is typically, other than last year's COVID, that kind of hit us during this time of year. This year, we'll see how spring and summer hits us, because last year, spring kind of was a little slower, but when we look back at numbers, it really wasn't. It felt slower. There was a little bit of a break.
There was a couple weeks of a break.
But what happened was, instead of having an uptick and then kind of a slow uptick again in like end of summer and then going back down, it was consistent. So we'll see what happens this year. We don't have a crystal ball, unfortunately. If we did, we would totally use it every day.
We got to bring back the Magic 8 Ball. We should bring that back.
No, yeah,
maybe not next week because we have a special guest, but the following week we'll bring back the Magic 8 Ball and do predictions with Kristen and Rebecca.
But yes, predictions, and sometimes they come true. I have something, spinmenot.com. This is interesting, just to stay on market and knowing what's going on. There are about 1.5 million households with a net worth of at least 10 million.
Wow.
So there's still money out there, is all I'm saying. So that's why these buyers are able to go in, and I'm not saying these are the buyers, but they're able to go in and make these higher offers because they do have money in the bank. They're taking out their stocks. People have been able to save up money despite what you hear on the news and everything. A lot of these buyers are cash or 20% down. I mean, I remember in the downturn back, when the market really crashed, all the buyers were left over were cash buyers. So, the cash is out there.
I'm having like flashbacks to,
2008, 2009.
Yeah. I remember when I had to walk uphill to present the offer in the snow. And so I do remember. I'm like, I hate being like, I remember.
One pair of shoes we owned.
Yeah, we couldn't afford new shoes, so we had to wear the same heels over and over.
So who would you think is the largest landowner or farmland owner in America?
Ooh, I have no idea. I can't even.
Would you think it would be like a farmer or maybe a company
Disney.
Right. So, okay. So Disney, I'm thinking more like, I don't know. I can't think of Dyson, with the chicken, although I think they closed everything down, something like that. But it's Bill Gates.
Oh.
Not a shocker, right? He's not the wealthiest man in
surprised he owns a lot
America,
of land.
but
He seems like a
farmland at that. So
city dweller.
You know what happened? COVID hit and he was like, oh, I need that food. He was smart.
He's buying everything up.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
So,
I
don't
feel
know.
like everybody's moving
Fun
to
fact.
Florida.
Yes, I do too. Mm-hmm.
Florida and Texas, they're like, hey,
Actually,
these guys have got it going on.
That's what it was. Texas. We're open states, truthfully. You and I talked about that, didn't we?
Yes.
Or was that somebody else?
No, we talked about that. And I'm saving my little fact about Florida being open for later, because I know we have another subject we're going to talk about, and I'm like, ooh, I want to say it then so I can be like, hey, I know things too. But yeah, I think it's because we're open and people are learning that they can work anywhere. Well, depending on what your job is going to do.
You're going to get out of those cold states that are closed and come on
I do
down.
not understand y'all in the north. I'm like, if you could live in the south, you would live here because it's warm and beautiful. And yeah, it's hot in the summer, but
I
we've
love
got
the
the
heat
beaches.
though. I prefer the heat because we have water. You don't just have the beaches. You have rivers, lakes, springs, everything. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't.
We're not talking about the world. Maybe the Queen. Let's look. I need that fact.
Yeah,
that can't come just from Sky Maze. It's got to come from some, internet, because the internet's where you get all your information.
Yeah, Abraham Lincoln said you can trust anything you find on the internet, and I believe it.
So we had a great weekend, right? We had one of our first events we've had in a long time. The desire to get back together, and you and I are, all about fitness. So we had a really fun Get Fit for Summer event hosted with us by some great friends of ours, Zen Fitness, Club Synergy, and Suda's FitFoot. So we had Megan from Club Synergy, we had Sarah from Zen, and we had Betsy from Suda's FitFoot, and we had a couple visitors, like Tyler's right there with Megan, and showing our fitness. So we had
There was a plank
challenge, right?
And then Zen has these neat little pods. Oh, we have a picture of that coming
Yeah,
up
we'll
soon.
have a picture. Yep, there they are.
And you had to hit the lights, and then you do
You have
your
like
plank.
30 seconds of hitting one light, so it was green. And actually, Tyler won at 52, which when I told Tristan today, which is our one of our trainers, he was shocked because he's the one who told Zen to buy these, and he's a fighter, MMA fighter. He actually won this weekend, so congrats, Tristan. And he was shocked. He was like, "Man, that boy knows. He's got like skills right there," because the top ones at the gym were 48, so he beat them all.
And he didn't even look like he was breaking a sweat.
No,
I was highly
he was a farmer.
impressed.
He's a farmer.
He's
there
like,
he
I
is.
know what to do.
There he's doing the plank. He wasn't as great at the plank, but he still did a pretty good job.
He knocked it out. He set a solid first go.
First number. Yeah, first
But,
go. But yeah, it was fun. It was in our office. There's Betsy slinging her awesome swag. She's got really great shoes and cute hats, and she's a runner. So a lot of it is for working out and running. And there's Mark hanging out. So yeah, we had a little storefront. It was during the farmers market, and we had such a success that we're really planning on doing this quarterly. And it's really, health is really important I think when you own a business, us being owners, when you're in real estate, when you're in some sales. For so long, we didn't really focus on our health, and a lot of people don't. And actually, we have a coach now, and I was reading or following one of his videos that he has, and it's all about healthcare, and it's really about taking care of yourself. And so, this really resonated with us, and to do this and continue this. So we're going to have it again quarterly, and have these same vendors out. And, we'll do the invites again. I think some people are still nervous to get out and about.
And we totally
we'll
understand
have it a little
that. We
earlier.
had people with masks that were competing, and
but we're at the end, sort of the last hour of the farmers market, and we think we're going to have it a little earlier, because the farmers market in Hale it's such a fun event. It's every single Saturday, 8 to 12, and so we'll be about 9:30 to 12, and so that you can enjoy it also. And we did have 2 winners of the baskets. So Zen Fitness gave a basket away, and that was to Brenda. Her last name is Weens. We didn't get her last name till the last minute, but she was actually a walk-in, and she came and she won the plank challenge. So go Brenda. And then Tyler Laborde came in, and like we said, the pods, 52 of them, so nobody could break that amazing record. So he won the Suda's Fit Foot little basket, a mug, and there's a couple other gifts with it. So congrats to both of you, and thank you so much for coming. It was great to see you.
It was great to see
And
everybody.
then Megan has something that will be won, but we don't have the winner yet.
Yes,
and
we
it
need
was
to draw that.
Right. Well, we're supposed to like the Club Synergy page. So why don't you all just go on and like Club Synergy and say, post about us on there. Maybe you'll win. It's a free facial.
Yeah. Ooh, yeah. And it's Synergy. It's IE at the end,
Yes.
not Y. And they've got a great new location coming up off of 43rd. It's getting built out right now, and so they'll have a big unveil. And I know on their Instagram, almost every day they're going through and showing walkthroughs of what it's going to look like. But it's real exciting.
Yeah, that's a great little health spa and other beauty spa and salon. So hopefully you all will go on there and like all of their pages in fitness, Suda's Fit Foot and Club Synergy. We'd love it if you could like their pages and get to know them and get healthy. So we're going to take a break now, and we'll get into the spring, what's coming up this spring, and we'll see you soon. Gainesville is set in the heart of North Central Florida and is home of the University of Florida Fighting Gators, top-notch hospitals, and healthcare facilities at Shands Hospital UF Health. Gainesville is located in Alachua County, surrounded by beautiful natural habitats such as dozens of lakes, springs, and trails. You can visit nature in town at Sweetwater, Paynes Prairie, Hawthorne Trail, and Devil's Mill Hopper, to name a few. Downtown Gainesville offers art, culture, history, lifestyle, and innovation mixed within nature. Listen to local bands play at the Bo Diddley Plaza, our outdoor amphitheater. Watch a play at the historic Hippodrome Theater. Stroll through the nostalgic streets of the Pleasant Street District. Take your kids to play outside at Depot Park. Visit an exhibit at the prestigious Cade Museum, or enjoy one of the many classic restaurants, local shops, and popular breweries in the Main Street area. Please visit buysellrebell.com to search for your new home. Hello, welcome back. Thanks for joining in now or sticking with us. We've got our next half, and we're going to have some fun conversations about spring. But just wanted to notate on that cute little video of the downtown Gainesville. You know, downtown's picking up again. You said you saw
Depot
some
Park
event
is
coming up.
Super busy. Yeah, there's lots of things going on. They're getting back to having farmers markets. Obviously, social distancing and masks are required at many of them. But yeah, I mean, Depot Park is starting to have painting classes on the lawn, and they're doing yoga. And I saw some people playing different sports out there. So things are starting to come back to life again.
Art events are opening also, and then I saw some shows were going on. So I think people are trying to get back in the swing of things. You know, you can only social distance so much when you're inside, but definitely wearing masks and, you know, continuing cleaning yourself is a good idea if you are joining any of these. But so one big thing that's coming up next week, it's spring break.
Well, and St. Augustine, they're doing their spring break the second half of this week. Now, a lot of the public schools are only getting half the week because they started back late. But yeah, so spring break season is upon us.
Yes.
And if you were in St. Augustine this week, you
so
know.
Going back to that whole conversation, actually, St. Augustine has been really busy since I think January. Again, you know, Florida's an open state, so people are, and you know, the weather is really nice, so people are getting out. But yeah, spring break's probably going to be crazy there. And when spring break happens in one area, that doesn't mean the same area is happening. So spring break is like 2 months long. It's you know, usually March and April, and in some areas up north, it's May. But think about this. You're saying that everybody's moving to Florida. Can you imagine not growing up in Florida? I know you were a Jersey-born baby, but you came real early.
Down. My mom came back to her senses.
Imagine
and we were
living
down here
in an area where there's absolutely no water. And think about it. Gainesville is the most like internal part of Florida. We're the furthest away, but you have springs. So if you forget, like a friend of ours we were on the phone with, they just sort of didn't plan anything. I don't think you've planned much, although you have the beach condo, so you can go. But you know, you can go to the springs. We have great springs out in High Springs, Jenny and Blue, you know, and a couple others around there. You know, you've got Rainbow River, you've got rivers, you have lakes. So you've got all the lakes up in, you know, the Hawthorne, Melrose area, Santa Fe Lake. You also have, you know, the rivers, Swanee, not so fun, Santa Fe. We're going to Crystal River, beautiful Homosassa area, beautiful white rivers where the manatees are. I'm not sure they'll still be there because they like the colder weather, but you know, and then you have the beaches. You've got the West Coast, which I personally think is absolutely gorgeous.
Stunning.
But you have Cedar Key, less than an hour away, really, from Gainesville. And then you have St. Augustine, which is where everybody goes to. I mean, we're really open over there because we all bought there, but mainly because, I mean, I grew up in Gainesville. I'm an ACR. And everyone I knew growing up either owned somewhere in that St. Augustine, Crescent Beach, Butler Beach area because it's so close. Fewer owned in Daytona, a little further south, a little further away.
Far away.
Our family always traveled over to Pensacola because we like to drive far. I don't know.
The other place are beautiful. The other place, you can get to Tampa and they've got beautiful beaches too.
I mean, they have gorgeous beaches. You and I used to go because of you. You know, down to Indian Rocks Beach, which is 2.5 hours away. But if you're in Gainesville and you are right up, you know, you're less than 2 hours to St. Augustine, you may as well go there. Now, for our Tampa people, they've got beautiful Tampa Bay and then all of those gorgeous beaches. I mean, we every May would go to Sarasota because one of my father's work events, and we would stay a week. And Sarasota was my favorite beach growing up, even though I was from here and every weekend could go to St. Augustine. But I just love Sarasota Beach.
Even though I have a place on the Florida East Coast, I am still a Florida West Coast girl, and I still think the water is
but when we take the kids, it's so funny because they're like, this is boring. There's no, you know, I mean.
No waves.
No waves. I mean, so yeah, I'm a West Coast girl also, just because I grew up going to Pensacola and Sarasota where the beaches, you could see through. I knew when the sharks were there because I could see them. I could see anything. So my fearful little butt was happier there because I could see what was going on. And it was, you know, very solid and easy. But every weekend or every summer we'd go with a group of friends to St. Augustine and we'd be in that heavy wave water and I would be terrified.
Oh, I'm scared. Every time I walk up, I can hear it down the street as I'm like walking up to it. And I'm like, that water sounds so scary, but my kids love it. So.
But yeah, Mason loves it. He will go out there and, you know, whoever will be out there, he'll go out alone. alone, but I don't really like him out there alone. But he'll go out there with your kids or whomever.
I see how it is. Send him out with my children so that they're in a
they'll get little Thomas before they get Mason.
Swimmer. Well, my son's in swim lessons. So
there you go. Well, that's the other son, though.
No. I bet your son and he swims competitively, so he'll just be fine.
Yeah. Holly's going to meet us up at the river or down at the river, Crystal River. So it'll be our first time doing a spring break there, but it'll be fun.
So my little Florida tidbit, I read an article over the weekend, and it was kind of talking about Florida in a negative capacity, saying, they're open and,
Agreed, Carrie.
It's not safe. But the very same article said, and I could go post it, I guess I should find it and post it for you guys, said that Florida, it was not found that Florida had any more cases than states that were closed up and in fact had the same number or less. So I don't know where they got their information. You can go look it up on the internet. But if I can find the article again, I'll post it on the Rabell page so you guys can tear them apart. But I thought it was interesting. This person was basically jealous and was like, I'm moving to Florida. So
agree. Come on down. You can live in Gainesville or anywhere.
Or Tampa or St. Augustine.
Right. But yeah, so spring break. I grew up going to Pensacola. Where'd you go into, or you stayed in your area?
Clearwater.
Yeah, so stayed in the area. Our favorite ever is probably the same, Exuma, Bahamas. If you can ever get out again.
Year before COVID.
Yes, go to Exuma. It's the most thrilling experience. It's absolutely gorgeous and probably my best experience ever.
Yeah,
maybe yours too.
Turtles and sharks and not the scary kind.
Yeah, they're sharks. So next up, we're going to stay on the spring theme, and both of us love gardening and plants, and so we've got some, kind of landscaping tips. We want to talk about what some favorite plants are for bringing in butterflies or bees. So do you have any that you can think of that you
I don't know the names of these things. I'm like the one with the yellow doodads and the purple thingamajigs
They're kind of all called butterfly bushes. Yes. There's bodillas, I think they're called, and then lantana, which has an odd little smell to it, but those are great for...
I love lantana because they bring all the little... I have a section of the yard that I do that stuff in so that the butterflies come.
Yeah. And I think lavender, or if anything with lavender, which doesn't really grow great here, but if you can get in there, it actually keeps mosquitoes away. And you can put citronella plants out there too, as well as the candles. So have you seen the azalea display this year?
I've seen everybody's posting in front of walls of azaleas, and so I peeked
out
my windows.
I know who you're talking about. Oh no, mine are going crazy.
Are
and
they?
then
I have to look out the window.
So in our house, of course, we bought it a year and a half ago. So, and I always say this, but they're all pink. Well, a neighbor of mine has all white azalea, and I'm super jealous because they're absolutely gorgeous. But I was talking with Rusty of Masters Lawn Care. Yes, shout out Rusty. He does my lawn. But he was saying that the reason why they're doing so well this year is because usually in Gainesville, we'll get a really bad frost snap. But instead, we just had really cold weather, but no frost. Think about it. I never brought my plants in because it never really went long enough under, and it was only for an hour. So it wasn't enough to really freeze them. So they've had a beautiful show, and they're about a week early also is what I've heard, but it's really because we didn't have that frost. So see, Florida, our weather.
Florida's where it's at.
And then the next spring gardening, it's kind of the same thing. So right now is a really great time to get your, whether you're selling or you just bought, right now is a really great time to remulch your home, your plants, because they do need that, because we'll go through a spurt of April showers, right? Rain coming in, and then it'll get really, really warm. And there might be another little spot of really cold weather. And so only one bad frost last year, lost a cactus. Yes, Megan, that's great. Those succulents can almost live through anything in Florida.
I'm a survival of the fittest in my plant world.
There you go. Right. Whoever,
if you survive, you are welcome.
Whoever can survive not getting watered in that corner.
Or surviving the frost.
But the mulch really helps with the weather changes that we go through. And so right now, since we just had all that pollen drop, and I'm sure you can tell by your cars being completely pollinated, and all of the leaves are dropping this month. So right now it's like getting that order in from your, your landscaper or from a local, company, whether it's Lowe's or local, bring in that mulch in and getting it ready. It actually helps protect your plants, including those azaleas. So, yeah. So next up, obviously, I love plants and flowers, flowering trees. So
it's a good time to prune if you haven't, right? Because we're done getting frost.
It depends on the plants when you're pruning. Actually, I wouldn't prune anything right now. This is actually a purple plum leaf tree. Do you remember these we had them in Cinnamon Hills. I grew one of these. It doesn't actually flower. It's just purple leaves. And the purple leaves are more brilliant in the winter. But to have a purple tree, it's like one of the coolest things ever. I kind of miss it from my Cinnamon Hills house. But I can't grow it where I am now because there's too many pine and oak trees, which who loves those?
Ooh, I see the next tree that's up, and I
the
love
cassia.
Those.
That actually, it's yellow. It's my absolute favorite tree. I have one in my backyard. I take one everywhere. You can actually break off a root and grow it again, and they're real flimsy. Mine has not been able to get this high, probably again due to the right amount of sun. You have to have the right amount of sun. But these actually flower with the yellow, and again, also more Christmas time.
I have to ask you, there's another tree that flowers that's yellow, but they're
Thrysalis.
Big. Oh my
probably.
God.
I don't know.
I
might be wrong because that's more of a bush tree.
It looks like they're being shaped into trees.
Sometimes you can't. Well, so I'm not, perfect with the trees. My mom would probably know this.
Clara.
Honestly. Clara, where are you?
To you. Somebody tag
So
Clara.
those two that just came up are like my favorite to have because you want to have plant like flowers or color year round. So those two are really great for summer. But now is a great time for these trees. So do you remember how I fell in love with this? The chase tree. It was at one of our listings in Turkey Creek. And they ended up buying with us. And I was like, what is that? And I have had that in my notes for the favorite tree since then. And that was probably 6 or 7 years ago. I tried to plant one of these babies. It did not work out. It's basically sticks, but I still have it because I would love this tree. Bottleneck.
Oh, yeah, I like those. I like the weeping ones.
It's actually the bottle brush, I think you mean.
Yes.
I love those because those are red. And we had those a lot in Cinnamon Hills. I don't have them now. But yeah, those are red, and they're kind of different rounds.
There's the city tree of Gainesville.
Well, the state tree, really, the Crepe Myrtle. If I could ever get my Crepe Myrtle look like that, I think I would die happy. Because I love and hate Crepe Myrtles because mine never look like that. But they're so beautiful when they do. And yes, sometimes we have too many. And then everybody does that Crepe Myrtle where they just like cut it off. Right now, if it has a lot of sunlight, they're starting to come back, but they've all been chopped off. I hate when people do that, and all the landscapers do that.
That's not true. Big Caesar's landscape has not done that to mine.
Good.
I know they mostly do Tioga. They just seem to pull up and do like streets.
Bottle brush, there you go. Yeah.
But yeah, they have not. I was watching to see if they murdered them, and they have not. So.
Well, mine apparently had some like aphid disease, so now I'm going to fix it, and maybe mine will come back. But I don't have enough sun, and they need sun. That's why. I love a holly tree. They're no wonder holly.
Hilarious. I don't like those holly trees.
I
They're
love
prickly.
springtime in Gainesville and really the South. So this is the dogwood. Sorry, it's because you can't see it. The dogwoods are so pretty, but they're not doing well this year.
Yeah, I haven't noticed any of those.
And they're actually not so I'm replacing a tree, and this is probably my second favorite tree for the spring, and I was advised not to put this in. And this is the best picture we could come up with because we really are getting these from the internet. But if you were to see this from far away, it is absolutely stunning. And it's really South Georgia has beautiful trees of these, but you can get them in Northern Florida and Gainesville, and they're just absolutely gorgeous. But my favorite tree of all, other than the cassia, which is the yellow one, is the next one. Let me see if we have it.
Oh, do we have it?
Oh, no. Well, it's the Japanese magnolia.
Oh, yeah. You do like those.
I love those. And that's what I'm replacing with. And luckily, everybody was like, everybody I talked to just said that Japanese magnolia will be the best for my yard. So, yay, I get my favorite tree.
Congratulations, Susan. I know what you'll be doing this spring. Planting trees.
Yeah, we just had the dead tree removed. So, you have 2 of them, Jackie. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, they are pretty. Do they drop a lot? They look like they would drop everywhere.
What, this one?
No,
the magnolia. Yes. So I hate southern magnolias, the big magnolias. I don't like those. But I was told that if you don't cut under, you don't notice that they drop because they drop underneath. But I still don't want a magnolia. And I asked, why do all the builders put magnolias in the front yard? You know why?
I'm afraid of what you're going to say on air.
You tell me.
I'm not going to say what I know. what is it because it's a cost-effective landscaping? Okay. It's a cost-effective landscaping.
So y'all, when you're building, you're not going to probably be able to choose, but see if you can like haggle with the landscaper to not get that magnolia tree.
They also like them because they grow quickly and look mature. Yay, Susan. Yeah, I think flowering trees are lovely.
You can also do camellias, which they're smaller trees and they're more like bush trees. And then, do you know the plumbagos? They're bushes, but they have like purpley blue-ish flowers. They just need a lot of sunlight too. And then I don't ever see them, but yesterday, today, and tomorrow's are some of the prettiest small, they're like bush trees. And every flower has 3 or 4 petals and they're pink, purple, and white all on one petal. So yeah. So clearly I love flowering trees. They're my favorite. But right now is the time to enjoy it in Gainesville and the surrounding areas down in Tampa and over in St. Augustine also. Enjoy the trees. They're going to put on a show and, get your landscaping ready to have a gorgeous spring, summer, and fall, winter. So yeah.
Yep.
Advice from Kristen.
There you go. The expert landscaper of Rabell Realty Group.
Just the love of trees.
Just call her. She'll come over and do a full critique of your landscaping. So, all right. Well,
I did want to be a landscape architect, by the way.
You did? Mm-hmm. That's so funny.
This is better.
Real estate's way better. There's too many snakes, but at least you're over your fear.
Yeah, I am.
So we want to thank all of our sponsors for this week's podcast. The first is K&R Property Management, where they invest in your investment. You can reach them at rent@knrpm.com.
I like how you put that. And the next one is J&P, Florida Handyman Services, for remodels, repairs, and maintenance. Not landscaping, but all the rest of these. Maybe even fences, too. You want to get that in your landscaping. We've got 2 numbers here. I'm going to give you the 352-519-8476. They speak Spanish and English, by the way.
Yes. Thinking about getting a career in real estate going, then email us at join@buysellrebell.com. There's no obligation, and talking with us is free and confidential, and we'll tell you how to get started.
And you want to get social? Well, check us out on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and our YouTube page. And hopefully we'll have that subscribe up next. But watch us here on Facebook and on Instagram. And on YouTube.
Did you know that Rabell Realty Group? Oh, never mind.
Oh, there we go. He changed it up for us. Yeah. Subscribe to YouTube.
Yep, you can follow our YouTube page. You can actually get there quite easy now by going to rebellpodcast.com, and it'll take you directly there.
Perfect. We like to make it easy for you.
We try.
Next up.
Right.
Did you know we have... We've got a blog, as Rebecca was trying to say. We didn't know which one was up next. But we post all of our commentary, comments, and our, whatever we're talking about are on our blog at buysellrebell.com/blog.
That's right. I know you have one more. Oh, there it is. Oh, I get to do this one. We have to thank the Fiesta Media Group for putting on the Rabell Realty Group podcast. If you're looking to get a podcast of your own, contact them at 352-327-5089.
You'll love it. It's super fun. Do it live, too, with Elio.
Yes. All right. Well, thanks so much for joining us, and we'll see you next week.
You.
We have a special speaker and guest with us, and he'll be teaching you and talking about flipping homes.
Yes, he's pretty amazing. So we're excited to meet with him and talk about investing in real estate.
Have a happy Monday.
We'll see you next week. Thank you.